Hello and welcome to another edition of Diplomatic Channel. I'm Amarachi Ubani. This week on the program, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Nigeria on Sunday, marking the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the West African country in 17 years. Mr. Modi was on a three-nation tour designed to strengthen India's global partnerships. The Indian Prime Minister said that President Tinubu's visit to India last year had added a new aspect to relations between the two. This time round, both leaders have identified new possibilities in economy, energy, agriculture, security, fintech, small and medium-state enterprises, and cultural areas. The Prime Minister was honored with the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger Award, the 17th award bestowed on him in a foreign country. We'll get more on the Prime Minister's visit to Nigeria later on the program. We'll also be looking into the latest in the war between Israel, Hamas, and Hezbollah, and a special party for Britain's King Charles in Lagos, Nigeria. That's Diplomatic Channel in a wrap. Let's check in on those other discussions in diplomatic circles, and we'll be right back.
The Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that Nigeria and India have signed memoranda of understanding in the areas of cultural exchange, customs, and many diverse areas, symbolizing the shared vision for growth, innovation, and sustainable development between the two. A statement from the ministry says success of the MOUs is dependent not only on the agreements signed, but on the commitment in ensuring the implementation of their provisions. For decades, Nigeria and India have shared strong ties rooted in historical, cultural, and economic collaboration, from the shared values of democracy and pluralism to their engagement in global platforms like the United Nations. US President Joe Biden has lifted restrictions that had blocked Ukraine from using US-provided weapons to strike deep into Russian territory in a significant change to US policy in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Sources say Ukraine plans to conduct its first long-range attacks in the coming days without revealing details due to operational security concerns. The move by the United States, coming weeks before President-elect Donald Trump is sworn into office, comes after months of requests by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to allow Ukraine's military to use US weapons to hit Russian military targets far from its border. Hundreds of people gathered near the Russian embassy in Rome on Sunday to mark the upcoming anniversary of 1,000 days of Russian invasion of Ukraine. Protesters demonstrated with banners and Ukrainian flags to denounce the fighting approaching the 1,000-day mark that killed troops at the front, sapping precious resources and exhausting the population.
So it's time for us to demonstrate that the war it's not ended, and we need to find the peace, but not only a peace, we need a just peace.
Welcome back. The Indian Prime Minister's visit to Nigeria was characterized by a lot of goodwill between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi was welcomed by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the newly appointed Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, upon his arrival. But also the airport was the Indian community in Nigeria, which turned up in their numbers, traditionally dressed to welcome the Prime Minister. Mr. Modi expressed condolences to Nigeria for the loss of lives caused by the devastating floods that struck the country in the last month. He said India would send 20 tons of humanitarian aid to support the ongoing relief efforts. Before his visit, India had already dispatched 15 tons of aid to Nigeria to provide relief from the floods. He thanked President Bola Tinubu for his personal commitment to strengthen the strategic partnership between India and Nigeria and highlighted the significant milestones achieved in bilateral relations. At the start of his address, the Prime Minister had referred to President Tinubu as Oremi, a term of endearment to the President in Yoruba, of course. This elicited a lot of reactions from people on social media, delighted that Mr. Modi used the Yoruba expression. Mr. Modi was also conferred with Nigeria's highest national award, the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, which he said he was honored to be conferred with and accepted with great humility, dedication, and to the people of India. President Hezbollah Tinubu said he had a productive bilateral session with the Indian Prime Minister. Both had identified several promising areas for enhanced collaboration and cooperation, including defense, mining, customs, education, among others. He said that being the two largest democracies in the world and in Africa, the strategic partnership between Nigeria and India has stood the test of time, and that the visit by the Prime Minister will help advance the cooperation for shared prosperity.
Our dear Prime Minister of India, it's a great honor to welcome you to Nigeria, and particularly in Abuja. Members of the Indian delegation, truly, you are welcome. Members of the Nigerian delegation, well, I believe you are at home. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's with profound pleasure to welcome His Excellency, Prime Minister of India, and members of delegation on this August visit. I recall that the last time we met was on the margins of G20 Leader Summit in Delhi in September 2023. As I recall, I have a very good time, a good lunch, and good experience to invite you so that we can rekindle and reclassify our relationship with India. The conference organized by our two countries, the frequency of high-level engagements has to improve. Indian citizens in Nigeria and investors are doing great service to your reputation and to democratic value and economic opportunity in our region. Although your current visit is short, I'm sure that you use this unique opportunity in many ways that we share similarities in terms of diversity and development experience, as earlier disclosed. Nigeria values its excellent relationship with India, and we work to broaden the same for mutual benefit of our two friendly countries. You represent a very strong commitment in democratic values and norms. You have been doing a good job. Historically, winning 3 consecutive elections in a complex society is a feat that we respect so much. Your transformative leadership, working hard at the heart of the people to reform the economy and place India on the top ladder of transformative governance, a good example of democratic value that we should continue to share, cherish, and promote, economic development of our people. It's a great asset that you have brought so far.
We are also very pleased that Nigeria has been given the status of a partner country in BRICS. And on behalf of India, I would like to congratulate Nigeria for this very great achievement. This indicates the important role that Nigeria is playing on the global stage under your leadership. Excellency, we accord a high priority to our strategic partnership with Nigeria. We have a strong cooperation in several sectors such as defense, energy, economy, technology, health, education, and culture. Our cooperation is very strong, and there are many new possibilities as well for us to take our cooperation forward. As we just said, we have always worked together to address challenges such as terrorism, separatism, piracy, and drug trafficking. And we will continue to work together to fight these in the future as well. The Indian community living in Nigeria, that is over 60,000 strong, constitutes an important link in our relations. And as a guardian, you are looking after them, and I would like to express my gratitude to you for that. I am confident that our discussions today will add a new chapter in our relations, and together we will also continue to highlight at a global level the priorities of the Global South. And thanks to our joint efforts, we will achieve success as well in this. Excellency, I express my heartfelt gratitude to you for your decision to accord me Nigeria's highest honor. This honor is not just for me. It honors 1.4 billion Indians, and it honors the centuries-old relations between India and Nigeria.
To the war in the Middle East now, Hezbollah's media relations chief, Mohammed Afif, has been killed. It comes after an Israeli strike on a building in central Beirut on Sunday. Israel has rarely hit senior Hezbollah personnel who do not have clear military roles, and its airstrikes have mostly targeted Beirut's southern suburbs, where Hezbollah has its heaviest presence.
Mohammed Afif Nabulsi was killed after an Israeli strike on a building in a densely populated district of Beirut on Sunday. He was the militant group's media relations chief. For many years, Nabulsi played a key role in managing Hezbollah's media relations, maintaining ties with local and international journalists, and frequently providing information anonymously. Following the assassination of Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah in late September, he became increasingly visible, holding several press conferences in Beirut's southern suburbs, where much of Hezbollah's administration is situated. His rapport with the media and the public was key to conveying Hezbollah's announcements and positions. He first gained prominence during the July 2006 war between Hezbollah and Israel when he served as the head of information for Al-Manar TV, the group's media channel. He also acted as a media advisor to the late Nasrallah. There's been no immediate confirmation from Hezbollah about his death. Security sources say the Israeli strike that killed him hit the area Ras al-Naba neighborhood, where many people displaced from Beirut's southern suburbs by the Israeli bombardment had been seeking refuge. The Israeli army later released videos showing multiple explosions in an unidentified area of southern Lebanon, which they said destroyed buildings housing Hezbollah's munitions and underground installations. Another video shows an aerial view of a target being hit. The description included with it on the IDF account on X said, "For the first time since its establishment, the Harov Patrol is operating in southern Lebanon, An underground infrastructure was located and destroyed, with weapons warehouses full of ammunition above it. In the meantime, medics and residents say dozens of Palestinians were killed or injured in an Israeli multi-story residential building in northern Gaza's Beit Lahia town on Sunday. Palestinian Civil Emergency said around 70 people were living in the property, but the Gaza government media office put the number of those killed at 72. The Israeli military says several strikes were conducted overnight on terrorist targets in Beit Lahia, with everything possible done to avoid civilian harm. The Israeli army sent tanks into Beit Lahia and the nearby towns of Beit Nanun and Jabalia, the largest of the Gaza Strip's 8 historic refugee camps, last month in what it said was a campaign to fight Hamas militants waging attacks and prevent them from regrouping. It says hundreds of Hamas operatives in those 3 areas have been killed, which residents said Israeli forces had isolated from Gaza City.